Well, welcome back to the final press conference here for Morgan Park at the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship presented by Motul. Hands down, another incredible weekend of racing. Wayne Maxwell with a maximum 51 points, slightly bridging the gap to Mike Jones. Wayne, we will start with you. As we said at the start of the weekend, all you can do is go for the 51 and let everything else take care of itself. Is that a fair way to put things?
Yeah, obviously that's all you can do. The rest of it has to take care of itself. But yeah, to come away with 51 points at probably my weakest track on the calendar on history would say is I've surprised myself. So the boys in the team worked really hard to give us a package that worked. You know, we had really good consistency and pace. In the first race I suffered a little bit physically, but in the second race I was a lot stronger and be able to fight it out right to the end with Mike.
Because when we spoke before, and I know Matt from AMCN noted it, you said don't really have a base setting and try to sort of lead us off on that idea that you were a little bit at sea with settings. Clearly you're not. Were you happy with the end result in terms of the package you had to go, or was it a case of run what you had and make the most of it?
You can't do that unless you have a package that works. You know what I mean? It's pretty easy to get. It's a very narrow window with that bike with the balance from weight front to rear. So yeah, that's what we really worked on recently, and that's helped me gain the confidence needed to win races.
Now we know the point situation. We know you've got the 3 races at World Superbike round and 2 at the Bend. Even with the maximum points, it's still going to be difficult, isn't it?
Well, Mike has to continue to finish second, and he'll get home. But there's a lot of racing to be had, and there's a lot of guys that are, get pretty keen to keep, at those circuits that are strong. Bryan super strong at Phillip Island, so anything's possible. It is racing. We haven't had a wet race yet. We're probably due for one of those. And, we'll just see how it goes. I can only just, as I said, concentrate on my own, focus on the things I can control. I can't control what Mike's going to do.
All right, fair enough. Bryan Starring, still in third on 189 points, still within striking distance, but, all in all, a reasonable weekend for the Ducati.
Yeah, all in all, a reasonable weekend. The first race was a disappointing part. Well, actually, qualifying wasn't brilliant for us either. So it sort of only come together really in race 2 as the first time I felt like I could sort of let my wings out a little bit. But I'm happy to end up third. But after race 1 and after qualifying, third overall for the weekend was really good, even if we had hoped to be slightly better than that leading into it. But look, that's fine. Unfortunately, lost a bit of gap to Wayne for the race for second in the championship. But as he just said, there's plenty of races to come.
Let's go with some positives. Out of the gate in race 2, must have felt great.
Well, it did. It was as the start that I expected to get also in race 1, but someone apparently didn't jump the start. Anyway, I certainly saw something move, and I launched my clutch, raised the front wheel to the sky, and then had to recover the start from there in race 1. So
we're talking about race 2, Bryan, when it was sensational. Take us through that.
So yeah, to get to race 2, it really was an action-packed race. I was kind of just like at the back of that group for most of it, and mostly just dying to hang in there. I wasn't a huge part of the action in the fight for the actual battle, but anyway, I still rode a good race. The last part of it, I didn't quite have the speed that the other guys had to bring it home, but anyway, it was a good result in third.
All right, we'll move across to Mike Jones. Mike, second on the weekend, it's all you have to do. I've been into you about it, but at the same time, you must be disappointed because this was a track where the feeling was Wayne would do exactly what he just said. This isn't his favourite track. He knows he's not as good here. This is, your local. I think there's a bar named after you nearby, but here we are with second for the weekend. I know that's all you need, but how's the feeling overall?
Yeah, look, I obviously wanted to win the races. I said that yesterday in the press conference. So, to get beaten, it's not a great feeling. You come here, you want to win, your goal's to win, and when you don't achieve that, then obviously you're disappointed. So, on the flip side of that, I have to be happy because, still leading the championship. If you look at the performance from the weekend, I feel like I gave my best at all times and was actually still really quite strong. Just Wayne was able to pit me there and have enough right at the very end. So, compared to the rest of the field, we're very, very strong still. And I feel great on the Yamaha.
Just a question for the group. I'm going to do a Matt from AMCN here and ask us a question for the group. Halfway through the race, Gary Crilly from Pirelli came on and said that the only person on soft tyre was Troy Herfoss. Did you guys know that pre-race, or did you work it out during the race?
I didn't know that he was on a soft tyre, and to be honest,
by the tearing on the side of it.
and when he went past, and saw that you could see the tyre wear, like that gets a distinct line on either side of it to show that it's wearing. It was probably evident then that he was on the softer option.
So as he went past, any one of you, were you confident that that would be a temporary situation as it ended up being, or was there a concern that he was setting sail for the finish line?
My testing on that particular tyre had been that it wasn't going to last.
So you knew he was on the soft at that point.
Well, I was assuming that he was. I didn't know for certain, but I was assuming that based on what I'd seen that he would have been, and knowing that, I was sure that he wouldn't make the end of the race on that tyre if that was the case.
All right, that ended up being a 10-second gap back. We'll go across to Ty Lynch. Ty, good points haul for the weekend with a 25 with a win and a second, but let's not gild the lily. But for some bad luck for John Littris, it might have been a different situation. But again, like the guys plugging away in second spot, you've just got to keep putting it out there and doing what you can.
Well, that's absolutely right. Like the main aim is to finish every race, and he still finished the first race, but that was a big hit in the points for him. But it's a long season.
Now, you must have known he was going to come out firing in race 2, and you brought your A game as well. Take us through that start.
Look, it's been one of our strong points this year, just getting off the lines, half your race, really. So got a good jump, and then I just tried to run with Littris the whole race, and we got about 8 laps in, and I just ran out of tyre and ran out of steam, and that was it. And that was there.
Is it this circuit, or is he just generally a bit quicker at the minute and you've got to find something?
History repeating itself. He was fast at Wakefield, and for me, I'm having to push pretty hard. But we're just trying to chip away at it easily, trying to find safe places to extract time out of each and every circuit.
Now, at Phillip Island, early in the year, he only got 21 points for the round, showing that on a circuit like the Bend and similar, he's not as quick. Does that give you some hope, or are we really going to be, with the points gap? Only six points, so another DNF and you're well in the box seat, or indeed a couple of victories in your home.
Yeah, look, it's one of those things. Phillip Island, the Bend, for me, it's a strong point for me. So, and we've done a lot of testing at the Bend over the last, 4 or 5 months. So it'll be interesting to see how he performs there. But like I said, he's actually turned it up this part of the season. He struggled a little bit at the start, and he's really starting to come on strong. So, all
right, well, it'll be an interesting run to the finish for both championships. Turn now to the assembled media, who seem very keen for questions. I'm going to go to you first, Trev, if you've got a question, or are you just...
Yeah, just one for Mike. I think originally, Mike, YRT weren't expecting to do the MotoGP round at Phillip Island. Is that correct, or do you think you might now, if that wasn't originally on the schedule, to help with setup ahead of the penultimate round there?
Yeah, my understanding is that we were intending to go and do it, and we still are. So like I said, I'm pretty sure that we're supposed to be going and doing the race there, and exactly that. It should give us a bit of a chance to get some more setup time on that particular circuit ahead of our actual ASBK Championship round there later in November.
Okay, ta.
Trevor Hedge there from MC News, says, for those who are wondering at home. Matt?
Yep. I've got a question for Wayne. Race 2. Matt O'Connell, AMCN. Wayne, race strategy, race 2. Mike, firstly, well done for hanging on after that. Making those moves in race 2, is that a strategy you were looking for? Or is it just like, you just got to do something?
I just wanted to ride off into the sunset, mate. I don't want to battle anyone.
Fastest part of the circuit, that move.
Yeah, I knew I had pace, even like on anyone all weekend down there. I knew I was fast, but to make it work is another story. So Mike rode a little bit protective at 4 and 6, a little bit protective, and they're the places where he was out accelerating me. So I lost less time there, and I got really good drive and got my weight right over the front of the V4R. And just kept feeding it gears, and a little bit off the apex there. It's probably can be a little bit smoother, but the thing was I had seen a lot of lights on the dash, and she was working pretty hard. So I managed to get there, and then I was alongside him, and because I knew I couldn't get him there. He was super strong on the exit of there and into the next corner. So I knew that was sort of now or never, and I was lucky to get alongside of him, but I wanted to be a safe sort of pass, so I was a little bit cautious to give him enough room, and then fortunately we both got through there. Someone just showed me some footage actually. His thing was moving around a fair bit as he got on the throttle, so credit to him to stay on it.
It was good to watch. Also, just in the garage after the race, what about with Craig and Adrian? You said you were a bit surprised about your result here. Were they surprised? What was their reaction?
I don't know. They're more hopeful than I ever am. I guess they're always believe in it and they turn up. So Adrian actually had already left the circuit. Adrian and Sean, two of the guys from the team, because they had to get a flight. So yeah, look, they expect that I can win anywhere, anytime. So that's always, they never question that part of it. And when I don't win, they apologise. They couldn't give me a good enough bike.
And they don't have to pack up. So.
Yeah, that's it. They skip the pack up. They've got the next one.
Just to wrap it up, just to go back to a quick thing here, Wayne, which reminded me, the Epis pass. You want to take us through that? Because from one angle, it looked a bit hairy, and it looked like you might have to have a chat to the clerk of the course. But then from another, it seemed reasonable. What were your thoughts on that?
Why would I have to chat to the clerk of the course?
Well, you might have to go and have a discussion.
Well, you're not allowed to pass.
Very good point. But could you take us through the pass regardless?
Look, I went down there. I got a run on him. He broke. I broke. Had a full tank of fuel. Common sense is if you're going to turn in, and if you're going to turn in and wipe him out. So I was just cautious of the turn in. I was probably a little bit overcommitted, and he tried to turn over the top of me. I think I couldn't really see him. He tried to turn over the top of me. If he had just conceded and did under-over, he probably would have led the race. While he's first and probably only over a lap.
Thanks for a great display of safe and aggressive riding, guys. And just to come back to that last point, Wayne, in retort to Lockie, I said that me, Webby, Hepburn and his dad could have probably gone through in the gap that he left wide open there that you walked through. So it looked pretty safe to me.
Yeah, and my intention obviously was never to run him off the racetrack. I needed him. It was one more bike that Mike had to potentially pass, so there was nothing like that. So yeah, I went down and apologised to him. So all good.
Yeah, Jeremy Hammer here from cycleonline.com.au. Question for you, Bryan. This weekend you had the new teammate in Brock Pearson. I think in that last race there, he may have been challenging you for the third overall. Were you surprised by how competitive he was this weekend?
I'm surprised that he took to the bike so quickly. But overall, at the end of the weekend, I'm not really that surprised. I know he's a talented rider. I know the lap times that he's done on the 600, and he's a reigning Supersport champion. You give a good rider that's hungry a good motorbike, and they'll always find the time they need to find. I was impressed with him this weekend. I said it earlier this weekend in a press conference, but I'm really happy that our team has decided to give someone young an opportunity. So I think that's great, and Brock's done himself a million favours over the weekend. I'm glad that he wasn't able to get one over me on the line at the end of that one, but overall, I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm happy to see I had plenty of opportunity when I was his age, and I feel like some other kids deserve that. And anyway, that goes on to a much bigger conversation than the question that you've asked. But Brock's done a great job.
Awesome, thanks, mate.
All right, so concludes. No one else got any questions? So concludes our press conference here at Morgan Park for round 5 of the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Champion. Thank you to our riders for coming along. Thank you for providing what was an absolutely sensational weekend of racing. Thank you to the Southern Downs Regional Council for their involvement and assistance. And thank you to Queensland for turning on good weather on the Saturday and Sunday. But from here at Morgan Park for now, it's goodbye.
Good racing, guys.